What's up, this is Tark here. The new Apple TV 4K 2022 version is here. This device is smaller, faster, and impressively cheaper in a time where prices everywhere are going up. If you want to find out if this Apple TV is for you and worth the upgrade from previous models, then that's what I'm here for. And if you are new to this channel, you might find this Apple TV review slightly different than all other review videos out there. Yes, I do use my Apple TV to stream movies, listen to music, and do most of the things that other users use it for, but I also use it to play games, specifically cycling games. It might sound weird, but the way it works, you attach your bike to a smart trainer, or you can use a smart bike. Think of a smart trainer as a game controller, but instead of holding it with your hands and controlling the game with your fingers, you need to actually ride your bike and pedal. The smart trainer or smart bike connects to one of the cycling apps available for Apple TV, and you can download from the Apple TV App Store and ride your bike. The app and your bike will interact to talk to each other, and all your cycling metrics will appear on the screen. The cycling app will adjust resistance on the trainer or bike to simulate the terrain or workout. Pretty cool stuff. But you know what is cool? If you take a quick second to hit that like button, it helps the video and the channel quite a bit, and I really appreciate it. Okay, let's start with what's new with this year's model. The Apple TV 4K is powered by an A15 Bionic chip. Unlike last year's Apple TV model with the 2018 era A12 Bionic chip, this year's model has a much more powerful chip that you will also find in the iPhone 13 and is still being used in the iPhone 14 model. The new Apple TV 4K comes in two different models. The base model is $129 and ships with 64 gigabyte of storage instead of the 32 gigabyte. I've never found myself in a situation where I needed more space on Apple TV, but more storage space for even less money is nice. There's also a 128 gigabyte model for $149, which also add an Ethernet port and support for thread networking that allows it to act as a hub for compatible smart home devices. Both models can act as hubs for Apple's HomeKit ecosystem, but only the $149 model is fully prepared for Thread and Matter-enabled Thread accessories. I somehow missed that little tidbit when I ordered mine. This is the base model. Maybe I'll take this one back and exchange it for the 128 gigabyte model. But both models support Wi-Fi 6.0 and Bluetooth 5.0, just like last year's model did. And Apple also added support for HDR10+, mainly for Samsung TVs. But the biggest update internally is the A15 Bionic chip, which gives it a 50% improved performance and up to 30% improvement for GPU performance, which is important for gaming. Now, for watching Netflix, streaming movies, and switching between apps, I personally did not find it that much faster. Maybe a little bit snappier, but this powerful processor and extra GPU is something that might one day come in handy down the line when Zwift or other cycling apps decide to take advantage of this power. Just look at the performance difference between the previous A12 and last year's model versus the new A15. That is a big leap forward in CPU performance and, most importantly, GPU performance. I think the Apple TV has always been an overpowered device for its intended use, which is mainly streaming shows, but you can see Apple is trying to get into that video game space, but without going all in with a full gaming console. And speaking of Zwift, Zwift runs natively on Apple TV, and based on my own experience, I think it is one of the easiest and cheapest ways to run Zwift. It is quick to start and pair to all devices, but probably the most underrated feature is all the app updates happen behind the scene on Apple TV, and you do not have to deal with constant messages to update your app. You won't realize how much time that saves you until you try to run Zwift on a PC or a Mac. The one downside that you probably won't even notice unless you see how Zwift works on a higher end PC is you'll get basic profile and 30 frames per second, which isn't any better than previous Apple TV or previous Apple TV. Zwift has not optimized its game to take full advantage of the Apple TV hardware fully, and looking at the performance of current devices with the A15 Bionic chip like the iPhone 13 Pro, for example, I still get basic profile with 30 frames per second. Keep in mind, Zwift has not added this new model to its profile yet, so it runs on most basic of basic profiles, and it kind of looked bad, but I expect Zwift to assign it to a profile very soon, just like they did with last year's model. As for Bluetooth limitation, or as for Bluetooth connection limitation that you might be familiar with the Apple TV, it's still there. It is still limited to 2 Bluetooth connection in the apps. However, you can still connect a Bluetooth headset like your AirPod or any Bluetooth headset, for example, along with your smart trainer and your heart rate sensor. But speaking of cool things, the Apple TV remote is great. I love the new remote from last year's model, and this one is identical to last year's model other than ditching the Lightning port for USB-C port for charging. The new Apple TV is also 20% smaller than the 2021 model, and it also feels lighter and no fans. Everything seems to run so efficiently inside this little device that Apple did not think that it needs a fan to cool the components down. Apple TV for Zwift has always been a cheap and very efficient way to get on Zwift, and only for $129, this is an easy recommendation. It boots up very quick. It quickly pairs to smart trainers and all your devices, and all the updates happen behind the scene. And Zwift also updated the user interface to make navigating with the Apple TV remote a lot easier than in years past. I personally still use my Apple TV when I just want to quickly get on Zwift for a quick workout or run without having to deal with all my PC shenanigans. If you have an Apple TV 4K already, I really cannot think of a reason to upgrade to this one. Unless you've got a Samsung 4K TV and have been waiting for HDR10 Plus, otherwise there's no compelling reason that I can think of to upgrade from a prior model to this one, and Zwift will not, unfortunately, run any better on this one as of yet. But as always, I'll keep you updated here on this channel if I see any performance improvement to Zwift on Apple TV, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you decide to get yourself one, check out the links in the description. It is a small way to help the channel and does not cost you extra at all, and I really appreciate it. But you know what is worth purchasing right now is this t-shirts. A soft cotton material makes it a great gift this holiday season for your cycling friend or significant other, or even yourself. I'll leave links to where you can get yourself one in the description below or in the comments somewhere below. Okay, hope you find this video helpful. Remember to hit that like button, and if you are still watching and have not subscribed yet, then you know what to do. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next video.